First thing that stood out for me in the next couple of letters is that hardship is the foundation for success. You need to do difficult things or go through difficult situations if you want to become better at handling difficult situations. At a stage in my life, I had to be foolish in order to become wise. I had to experience pain in order to become strong. I had to cultivate unshakable faith or unbreakable faith in order to fight for my son's life. Now, if God did not put me through all of these difficult situations, then I would not be the man that I am today. And in one of his letters, J.D.Rockefeller actually explains this to his son. He basically tells his son not to take hardship to heart, right? To change his viewpoint or his perception on it, because hardship is exactly what will make you great. It is exactly what will make you successful in business and in life. But you need to have the right perception. You need to understand that if God wanted to create a strong, disciplined, wise individual, what would he put that person through? What would you put that person through if you wanted to create somebody like that? So don't look at hardship and feel sorry for yourself. Look at hardship and see the gains that you are going to get after that, because it will develop your character. It will develop personality traits within you. All of the greatest traits that I have as Marcius has been developed by hardship, by difficult times and situations. Another thing that stood out for me, in one of his letters, Rockefeller tells his son that if you take a man's dignity, then you take his destiny. And he talks about how the press, is kind of slandering his name and saying he's got all this wealth and he's not giving enough of that to charity, etc., etc. And he explains to his son the old saying, if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for one day, but if you teach him how to fish, you can help him for a lifetime. And basically, it comes down to him explaining to his son that he can't just give to charity. He needs to educate. To truly help people, you can't just give them money. You can't just give them opportunities. You got to develop their minds, their spirits, their capability. And sometimes that's tougher than to just give somebody money. Because it's easy to give you a couple of $100,000. It's not that easy to invest time, energy, and wisdom into a person. And that's exactly what we try to do here in the club. Sometimes if you give easily to people, then you will make them dependent. Not sometimes, most of the time. You will make people dependent on you, and you are going to take away their dignity to do it for themselves. And if you take that dignity by just giving freely, then you will take that person's destiny, because he will be dependent on you and he will not learn how to fight through things in life for themselves, how to go and discover their own greatness, their own destiny, their own things that they are supposed to do in life that will give them fulfillment and that will elevate them. Smart people play stupid. It pays to play stupid. This has actually helped me a lot in life before. When you play stupid, sometimes people, they get a spark in their eye, right? They think they got you and they reveal themselves to you. And the more you reveal yourself to me, the more leverage I have in the situation. Because you think that I'm stupid, you revealed that to me. That means you don't know what I think, but I know what you think. It causes people to underestimate you, and people can't help but to show it in small little ways when they think they have the upper hand. It's like playing poker, it's like playing chess. The more I know of you and the less you know of me, the greater my chances of success. And there's a skill to it, right? And it's not conniving, especially not if you are dealing with people that clearly have ill intentions. And one of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't want to play stupid because of their ego. If you can move the ego aside and you can play to win and not look like the winner, right? It's not about looking like the winner. It's about winning. You want to know more about your opponent than your opponent knows about you. In one of his letters to his son, Rockefeller actually positions excuses as a mental illness. He says people that make excuses have a mental illness. They steal from themselves and they are disobedient to God. Do yourself a favor and go and look at anybody that makes excuses for where they are in life. People that use the government as an excuse, people that use family members or relatives and say, I'm not here because of this and that, or I'm not here because of my health, or, I can't do this because of the excuses. None of those people are successful. None of those people have what is necessary to become successful, because they are too wrapped up in the self-loathing that they've got. They're too wrapped up in making excuses. They formed a habit of making excuses for their poor behavior in life, for their poor performance in life. And unfortunately, that is the average human being. We have been conditioned. It's easier, it's less painful for the mind to make excuses for why I'm not where I am than to take responsibility and say, this is on me. It's my fault that I'm not making the money that I want to make. Or it's my fault that my marriage isn't where it has to be. It's always somebody else, right? Because to blame yourself for it, that is extremely painful. And that's why I always say the truth will set you free. Because the truth is, you are responsible for everything in your life. Whether it's your fault or not, you are responsible. It's my responsibility to have a good marriage. It's my responsibility to have a good relationship with my kid and my family members. And if I fuck up, then that's on me. I got to take that one on the chin. But at least with that painful truth, right, comes the ability to do something about it. Because the moment you take ownership, you take back the power as well. Now, to change this reality, which you don't want, you have the power to do that. The moment you take the responsibility, you understand that you need to do something different. You need to apply a different recipe or tackle this from a different angle. Apply some new knowledge or some new information in your life in order to get a better result. Gold or money is not wealth. Faith is wealth. The greatest accomplishments that I've achieved in my life has been with faith and not with money. Faith in myself, faith in my Creator, faith in my ability to stand strong and to stay determined. You can do 1,000,000 times more with faith than you can with money. And that's why the greatest investment you can make is in yourself, in your spiritual self, in your mental self, and your physical self. But it all starts with the spiritual self. And this is not an opinion, this is a cold, hard truth, right? The more spiritually elevated you are, the more ability, power, and capability you will have in life. And that means in everything in life, business, relationships, money, it doesn't matter. Now, if you know that to be true, why do we not invest heavily in our spiritual selves? Second place is no better than last. The guy that comes second is just the first loser. Winning matters in life. And if you're not going to play in business or in life or in your relationships or with money to win, then just don't play at all, because you're just going to waste your time. There's nothing wrong with ruthless ambition. In fact, if you don't have ambition, you might as well just quit now. Ambition is needed in order to get to higher places in life. That means there has to be a desire to win. And you get all these stupid sayings from people saying winning isn't everything. It's the only thing that separates you from the losers. If winning didn't matter, then you wouldn't have millions of people watching a DDP fight. You wouldn't have Formula 1 or rugby or anything great in life that we all love to watch. If you're not going to play to win, then there's no point in playing at all. Your Creator wants you to win, right? There's nothing wrong with winning. In fact, it's your duty. You should win. You should just not do it unfairly. Life is about adventure. What's the point in living an entire lifetime with no story to tell? You won't have a great story if you don't take risk. Without risk, there's no adventure. And with no adventure, life is dull. We as entrepreneurs, or sometimes like professional gamblers, right? You look at the data, you look at the stats, and you take a calculated decision. And unfortunately, we got to take a risk to have an adventurous life. You are going to get old. You are going to get weak. Your body's going to fail you. Your health's going to fail you. And one day, you are going to die. And I promise you now, I know this to be true in my heart, you are going to regret the opportunities that you didn't take. You're going to regret not living an adventurous life. You're going to die anyway. What's the worst that can happen? So best case scenario, you try and you succeed. Worst case scenario, you die, which is going to happen in any case. And then you won't care. I stole that line from Alex Hormozy, though. But it's true. I look at the past 3 or 4 years of my life, and the highlights was adventurous moments. I remember when we went to Dubai. I remember when we did the Drive to Survive show. All things that were crazy, that were adventurous, and a lot of those things we took massive risks, right? We spent a lot of money hoping that it's going to have some type of payoff. But those are the things that I remember. The rest of the past 3 or 4 years is almost like a blur. The risks I took in business that paid off, that became massive opportunities, and the moments I spent with the people I loved to go and see the world or experience new things. Those are the things that stand out for me. So I would be smart to try and fill my life with more of those moments, if those are the moments that I cherish so much. J.D.Rockefeller says money is like cow shit. The more you spray it around, the more you can do with it. But if you hoard it, it just becomes a foul-smelling asset. He made it very clear in a couple of his letters to his son that money is your slave. The love of money is the root of all evil, not money. The way a little bit of money or a lot of money makes people feel, that is when they start serving money and making it a god. It is merely a tool that has to be used. If you hoard it, then you're stupid, because it means you don't know what to do with it. But if you make it serve you and you make it work diligently for you, then you can expand your empire, your kingdom, and also the kingdom of your Creator. Because when you take up your duty to make money work diligently, then you give opportunities to other people. You elevate your community, you elevate your family, and you elevate yourself. All the glory to God for the opportunity to do that. Just remember one thing: it is by grace. You are not some type of hotshot tough guy. I have to tell myself this daily. I need to make sure that I humble myself every single day and guard my heart from the ego. All I am is by the grace of God. The wealth that I've gathered is inside me. It's not in my money or in my abilities. Those are gifts from my Creator. We are appointed as masters over the materialistic things that we have. We are not those things. We are not elevated by those things. We are elevated through truth, through elevation of the spirit, through our connection with our Creator. Money is the slave. You are the master. In one of his letters, Rockefeller explains to his son that he's in a situation where he needs to break up with an inner circle member because he's weak, frightened, and not willing to take risks. And I agree with this, because if you allow weak people with low ambition inside your inner circle, it will not only infect the inner circle, but it will also infect your heart. And in order for you to conquer adversity and grow spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, you are going to need to have the heart of a lion. Every chess piece that you move needs to elevate you and your kingdom and your Creator's kingdom, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And if that means sometimes you need to move people out of your life as well, then so be it. I would rather lose a person in my life than lose myself or lose the respect or support of my Creator. Rockefeller also emphasized a lot on believing in yourself to his son. He positions not believing in yourself as self-theft or spiritual betrayal. And isn't it true? To doubt your own divine design is to insult your Creator. Every time you underestimate yourself, you shrink that which God has placed within you. And that unbelief is a silent robbery of your future. And believing in yourself has got nothing to do with the ego, right? Beware of the ego. Screw the ego. Believe in yourself not for who you are or who you think you are. Believe in yourself for who created you. God builds giants with grit, not gifts. To think that talent is enough is a lie. It's ridiculous. Talent is not enough. It's not the gifted man that succeeds. It's the grounded one. Faith, discipline, and humility is what will separate us from the rest of this world. We don't need more talents. We need more trust in ourselves and in our Creator. And this brings to mind a quote of J.F. Kennedy where he says, "Don't pray for easy lives, my friends. Pray to be stronger men." We need to pray to be stronger, to be tougher than that which comes against us. And the truth of the matter is you are. Whatever is inside of you is greater than that what's in the world or that can come against you. If you know that to be true in your heart, then why do you fear? If you have knowledge, truth, and unshakable faith in your Creator, then the only thing that can destroy you is you.